Our 25 Sports Prep Rally Team of the Week is the best of the best. We've been covering high school football for 14 fun weeks, some unbelievable teams and highlights. Tonight we pick the best on the Prep Rally All-Area Team. We call our All-Area Team the All-Matson Team. The guys we enjoyed covering the most, they made the most highlights, and they show up tonight on our All-Area Team, the All-Matson defense right now. We start on the defensive line with Pekin's Braden Beckham. He was terrific on both the O-line and D-line for the Middle-Illini champion and record-setting Dragons. Dunlap's Sam Morgan was also a standout two-way lineman for the Eagles. Great on offense, a run-stuffer on defense for Dunlap. Dakota Wiegand of Eureka was an all-stater as a great pass rusher, anchored a terrific Eureka defense all year in the Heart of Illinois Conference. Dexter Niekamp of Normal Community brought a lot of physicality and big plays to the Ironman defense. Speaking of physicality, Mr. Bone Crusher, Landon Newby Wholesome, he punished Peoria High opponents all year. Normal West was a team that lived on defense. Dylan Hardwick, one of many Wildcats who made big plays all year for the Big 12 champs. Prairie Central's Noah Nagel was a standout on both the O-line and D-line for the Hawks. Nagel wrapping up a great career for Prairie Central. And Caleb Hollis of Elmwood Brimfield could have made this team on either the O-line or D-line. We just happen to have a little more video of this physical standout on defense. At linebacker, he was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Barack Lienerman. He and Normal West proved defense does win championships. Lienerman, an all-stater. From Prairie Central, Drew Fair was one of the best running backs we covered all year. I think number 35 was an even better linebacker and an all-stater for the Hawks. Shaman Handigan made big play after big play for the Pekin Dragons defense. Sloan Windish wraps up his career at Elmwood Brimfield as the school's all-time leading tackler. And Gary Rutherford at Peoria High, just an unbelievable sideline-to-sideline weapon for the Peoria High Lions defense. The Morton Potters had one of the best defenses in the Middle-Illini, led by Blake Shoemaker, a standout linebacker. Go to a Washington football game. If you look for the football, you saw number 44, Jace Harlan, a tackling machine for the Panthers. At defensive back, here's where we pick Kanye Tyler. Tyler was unbelievable for 3 years on offense, unbelievable for 3 years on defense for the Pekin Dragons, a 3-year All-Matson choice. Tanner Couples of Normal West had a great year for the Wildcats, a great athlete, a big-time playmaker on both sides of the ball for the Wildcats. Peoria High's Eli McFadden matched up with great receiver after great receiver and came away with great plays, including this state finals interception. Tice Albritton of DMAC, a terrific player in both pass coverage and run coverage, a physical force for the Chiefs. Logan Friedmansky, a great offensive and defensive player for Ridgeview Lexington. Wow, did he make a lot of plays in the defensive backfield for the Mustangs. And Joseph Norton of Canton, again, a great two-way player, a great physical presence for the Little Giants. We named several athletes to the team, beginning with Caden Hartnett of Metamora. Caden did it all for the Redbirds. As electrifying as a running quarterback as we've covered in years, was also great on defense and special teams for the Redbirds. Daniel Keyser of Stark County did it all, kicked, punted, played defense, played offense. Had a wonderful year for the state playoff-bound Rebels. Chris Taylor of Normal Community battled injuries in his senior year, but he has a bright future at Illinois State University. When he was on the field, he was certainly one of the best players in the state of Illinois. Peoria Mangle's Landon Tolliver had big play after big play for a Rams team that was fun to watch and cover this fall. Peoria and Notre Dame improved as much as any team from week 1 to week 9. Liam Ludolph, a big reason why for the Irish improvement. And from East Peoria, the long losing streak is over thanks to the remarkable play of Gabe Ziegler-Harris, who had a great senior year as a leader and playmaker for the Raiders. Our specialists, the kickers and punters, we pick Ryan Milmore of Normal Community, University of Illinois bound Declan Dooley of El Paso Gridley, and Pekin's Miley Hansen, their pioneer kicker on the winningest Pekin team ever.